Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing my Christmas haul video for 2018. So let's begin first of all with the Blu-rays, and then I'll move on to the DVDs and random other stuff afterwards. So here is Arrow Season 6, which I've had quite a love-hate relationship with Arrow as of late. Felt very unfulfilled by Season 4 with such an amazing build-up to a very lackluster episode for the season finale, and then Season 5 I've had in my collection for the best part of a year and just basically have not watched it until about a week ago, which I binged the entirety of Season 5, and it was an incredible watch. Very good flashback sequences involving Oliver in Russia with the character of Anatoly, and the villain character was quite a surprise, likewise with the villain character in Season 6, which I won't spoil the identity of, but he's revealed about halfway through, and he starts off as quite irrelevant. We don't really know anything about him, nor do we really care, at least I didn't, and then he's built up to quite a ferocious villain by the end of the season. And the cliffhanger to this one was very good as well. Not as exciting as the Season 5 cliffhanger in my opinion, but that might be because if you've seen the Season 7 poster, you will know what happens to Oliver Queen. Anyway, so that is Arrow Season 6. I would like to actually get back into reviewing these seasons. I did review Arrow Season 1 and 2 together many years ago, so I would like to carry that on perhaps. So that's Season 6 anyway. Next up we have Flash Season 4. Which I haven't watched as of yet, apart from the Crisis on Earth X episode, which all of those were on the Arrow box set anyway, which are the sort of four-part crossover episodes from Arrow, Flash, Legends, and that show Supergirl, which I still haven't watched. And it was an okay crossover. It felt more like fan service to just cram basically every character that they've established into a four-part series, but it was an okay sort of segment, I guess. It just sort of detracted from the initial storyline going on in Arrow. But perhaps it'll fit a lot better with Flash, I don't know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this. Flash has been a very good show, in my eyes at least. Season 3 was a little bit predictable, so I'm wondering what will happen with Season 4. But anyway, I will perhaps review these at some point in the near future. And as I hinted to, we have Legends of Tomorrow Season 3. Season 2 had quite the exciting cliffhanger finale, so I don't really know what the general direction will be of Season 3, but I did see the Legends episode featured on the Arrow box set from the four-part crossover, and that was a very sad episode, since my favourite character has now departed from the show. And I'm intrigued to see the context of that, at least, since it's not really developed in that one episode, so obviously there's going to be some kind of build-up to that, towards, I think it was episode 8 where the crossover began. But anyway, that is Legends Season 3. I might do reviews of these as well as the others at some point in the near future. Next up we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, the latest of the MCU movie releases. This was an okay movie, wasn't as good as the first Ant-Man movie, but I do really appreciate the huge throwback to the subatomic scene at the very end of Ant-Man, where Ant-Man does enter the quantum realm, and he actually sees the face of Hope's mother, Janet Van Dyne, and so basically the plot of this film is trying to get Janet back. I did quite like the subplot as well, with the character of a Ghost, as she was referred to, a girl that was in a awful sort of particle accident. I can't really refer to it as anything else. And now every single atom in her body is separating and conjoining all the time, and so she's more or less phasing all the time, so she can walk through walls, interesting stuff like that. And yeah, she's basically in a perpetual sort of cycle of hell, and she wants to be cured. So I thought that was quite an interesting side plot, with Lawrence Fishburne starring in those scenes as well. So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, an okay movie, very good end credit scene as well, joining up to Avengers Endgame coming out next year. Next up we have The Incredible Hulk, which is an okay movie. I did recently rewatch this. It does hold up very well in my opinion. Obviously the only downside to this is Ed Norton is phenomenal in this movie, and yet we never see him again because obviously Mark Ruffalo took over the role as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. And yeah, overall I quite like the fight scene at the very end, and it's just an okay MCU movie. So that is The Incredible Hulk. And the last three Blu-rays I have to show are all Pixar related, beginning with one of their most recent releases, and that is Coco. And this was a very surprising movie. The animation style is absolutely gorgeous, especially the background designs. And I love the characters, especially Miguel, the main character, who is a young boy aspiring to become a musician. In a household where music is banned, the mother character is hilarious, trying to enforce that sort of rule they have in the household where no music can be played or enjoyed. And Miguel just aspires to want to become like his grandfather, Ernesto de la Cruz. And yeah, definitely an interesting plot twist with that character. I love the character of Hector as well, a very funny character. And Miguel traveling to the land of the undead was just a phenomenal sequence, which is pictured on the back. And I love the character of Dante as well, the dog. Yeah, very evocative tale. Definitely would make men cry for sure. And overall phenomenal. Love the humor style, and the characters are very well rounded. So that is Coco. And the next two I actually haven't watched yet. We have Cars 3, which is probably going to go at the very bottom of the watch pile. Don't have any interest in watching this. I literally bought it out of obligation for completion's sake, really, since I do own all the other Pixar movies now. And yeah, so I don't know what to think of this. I think Lightning McQueen is a very bland character, and that is personally why Cars 2 is my favourite, since Made to the Tow Truck has a lot more going on and is genuinely funny, unlike Lightning McQueen. That's just my opinion though. So yeah, I don't really know what direction this movie goes in. I haven't watched the trailer for it, I haven't seen anything to do with it. So yeah, this will be a total surprise, I suppose. So that's Cars 3. And finally we have The Good Dinosaur, which is probably one of the least talked about Pixar movies. That probably means it's very generic, but I'm intrigued nonetheless. The characters are very sort of cutesified, and yeah, I don't really know what to expect with this one. So that is The Good Dinosaur. Let's move on to the DVDs. And moving on to the DVDs, I actually haven't watched any of these as of yet, so I'll just try and speed through them as quick as I can. First up is Family Guy Season 18. It's a 3-disc set with 20 episodes in total. Comes with a couple of special features, but they really cheaped out on these releases this year. No slipcover. I don't know whether they were supposed to come with slipcovers. I haven't seen one with a slipcover. And with the discs, they are just shiny discs, no artwork. I do get an episode guide inside though, thankfully, but yeah, it just seems very cheap in comparison to the other DVD releases, but whatever, I suppose. And likewise with American Dad, we have volume 13, 22 episodes on this 3-disc set. Front cover artwork is really strange. Not really front cover material in my opinion. And here is the inside again, shiny discs, but we do have some inside artwork and again an episode guide. Next up we have the complete series of the classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon, The Flintstones, which is a 20-disc box set, 166 episodes. I've only just started on this with disc 1, obviously, a couple of episodes in, and it's just cartoon hilarity at its finest. It's part of the new release Diamond Collection for Hanna-Barbera. There's the back cover. And 2 cases inside, similar to the Animaniacs box that I showed in my last update video. And yeah, it's just a really nicely put together set, and especially since the UK only has seasons 1, 2 and 3 available on DVD, 4, 5 and 6. I've never made it over here, so I just imported this box set from America. Every season, every episode. Next up we have the Godfather trilogy, which I am one of 7 people in the world who have not seen the Godfather movies, and so with this box set I will be able to rectify that. It comes with all 3 movies, it's a 4-disc set. And I've been very interested to watch these movies. I'm a big fan of Francis Ford Coppola, and so yeah, I'm very intrigued to say the least. So that is the Godfather DVD collection. And the last 2 things are Mad Men Season 2, which Mad Men is a show that I've recently started. Season 1 was very, very good, so I can't wait to get stuck into these next 2 seasons and work my way up. And then we also have Season 3 as well. So let's move on to the random other stuff. And so moving on to the random other stuff, we have a couple of books which are, funnily enough, all Star Wars related. Beginning with Dark Disciple by Christy Golden, which is based on, as it says, unproduced episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is the animated television show. And so before the cancellation in 2012, I believe the scripts for the Season 7 and Season 8 episodes were fully completed. And I believe Dark Disciple was part of an 8-part episode series. And so I would have loved to have seen that in the fully animated form, but thankfully it's been saved in the power of novel form. And so yeah, this is based on those scripts. It's the full story, obviously told in novel form, and I'm just very excited to check this out. So that is Dark Disciple. Next up we have Tarkin by James Luceno, which I believe is very similar to Thrawn by Timothy Zahn, of obviously an Imperial character rising through the ranks, and this is basically going to be the story of how Governor Tarkin becomes Grand Moff, I assume. So very excited to read this. There's Vader there in the background looking very ominous. And yeah, so that is Tarkin. And the last two books I have to show are a little bit larger than the others, so I've just changed setup to try and show these as best as I can. This is the making of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith by J.W. Rinsler. And as you can imagine, it's basically a huge behind-the-scenes guide of all the thought processes from the man himself, George Lucas, all the concept art, and all the ideas, and sort of a rundown of every production day of Revenge of the Sith up until its completion. And yeah, it's just very interesting to flick through this. Episode 3 is for sure my favourite of the prequel movies, so this was definitely a very informative little guide to have a look through. And as you can see, we have some really great sort of behind-the-scenes images. There's Natalie Portman, nice little set design piece there, Chewie. So yeah, you could just flick through this, I suppose, and just basically find any tidbit of information you would be looking for from Star Wars Episode 3. And yeah, so that is the guidebook to the making of Star Wars Episode 3. What a page to turn to. There's Padme who died of sadness, everybody. Yeah, so that's the making of Star Wars Episode 3. And the last book I have to show is a joke gift from my brother, and that is Where's the Wookiee? Which is basically a Where's Wally or Where's Waldo style book, obviously with Star Wars characters. And yeah, some very interesting bits of artwork inside. As you can see, there's the Death Star. And I think I've just spotted him. Is that the Wookiee? There must be. There's more characters you can search and find for. I think pretty much all the Episode 5 bounty hunters, yeah, there you go, are lined up to be found in this book, along with the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo, and Greedo. So yeah, a couple of Christmas-themed pop figures. We have the, I guess, Santa version of Darth Vader, which he does come with the candy cane. So that's a nifty-looking figurine, and likewise with Yoda, which I think is a lot more impressive. Full sort of Santa outfit, little sack of goodies I would imagine. Bobblehead once again, grey hair sticking out the back of the Santa hat, and a great looking sculpt as well, so that is Santa Yoda. And here's a couple of the Hasbro 4-inch figurines. Starting off with Supreme Leader Snoke in all his ugly glory. I love that face sculpt. Head and neck do actually turn together, which I thought was a nice bit of attention to detail. And yeah, articulation on these. It's not very good in my opinion, but I do personally like the simplicity of them. And they are part of the Force Link 2.0 collection, which is a little speaker system that I guess is just made for young children, where you can actually have the figures speak in a sense. You put the certain figurine with the correlating little disc there inside the foot next to the speaker, and the speaker will say quotes from the character, which is quite nifty. So yeah, that's Supreme Leader Snoke. Next up we have Moloch from the Solo: A Star Wars Story. Moloch was a very interesting character. I loved his design in the movie, and it does reflect very nicely with the action figure. And this is my favourite feature, where you can actually unmask him where he gets sunburnt in the movie. So just put him back together. And he does come with his blaster and his little belt there. And yeah, quite a nice looking figurine. Next up we have the Hoth variation of Princess Leia. And that's actually a really good face sculpt in my opinion. So there's Leia, and last up we have Kira from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I've put her blaster in backwards, basically because she just could not hold it for shit. It was really getting on my nerves and I didn't want to lose it. But yeah, really great sculpt on this one as well. Loved the sort of fur on the jacket, and again, a very good face sculpt actually. Very impressive. So that is Kira. And for the two sealed figurines I've kept these sealed because I already own variations of these characters and I'm tempted to sell these at some point. So that's Kylo Ren based on Episode 8. There's a little example of the Force Link A little toy system, by the way. But yeah, there's Kylo Ren and Chewbacca, which I believe this is based on Solo. Couple of Lego related items. First up is what they call a brickhead of Han Solo, which is basically Lego's answer to a Funko Pop. And I believe Lego have actually lost the rights to make licensed characters now as brickheads, which is interesting. A load of these have gone up in value, particularly the Darth Vader one, which is one that I really wanted, and now everybody wants upwards of, say, £20 to £30, and it's sold out everywhere, which is crazy. So I'll just leave that one alone, I suppose. But yeah, not a bad attempt at recreating Han Solo. As you can see, we've got the sideburns going on there. Ears, I assume. Very weird to see a Lego character with ears. And some good printed pieces on the front, as you can see. So yeah, not a bad attempt. So that is the brickhead of Han. And then the sort of larger Lego item we have here is the buildable Porg figure, which is very similar to the BB-8 I got last year. I don't think this is part of the Ultimate Collector series, as far as I know anyway, but it does come with the similar little plaque of information about the build/character in this instance. Obviously it's about the Porg, and it does come with a little Lego figure scale version of the Porg as well. And a nifty little feature about this guy, he actually has a function similar to BB-8. If you push down on the back of his tail, his wings will flap up and down, and his mouth will open as well, which I thought was very, very well done, especially in Lego. And I love sort of the greebling and the amount of detail that's gone into the feathers on the back. Roughly, I think this is just under 1,000 pieces, if I'm not mistaken. And I paid, I think it was only $37 for this in Tesco, which was an absolute bargain. I don't really buy Lego too often, usually because of how expensive it is, but you can get some very good deals around Christmas, and so obviously I bit the bullet on this one. Also grabbed the Han Solo Land Speeder set, which is still new sealed in the box at the moment. Haven't had a chance to put this one together. It's a really sleek design for the speeder, and this will go very nicely with Moloch's speeder, which I got earlier in the year. So this will basically complete the scene, I suppose, from the beginning of the movie. And yeah, it comes with Legofications of Kira, Han, and one of the Carillion Hounds. And the last couple of items I have to show are all Kid Robot vinyl art figures. First of which is Slippery Stare from Rick and Morty. If you don't recall this character, this is the character from the Meeseeks and Destroy episode from the Tavern segment in the Giant Dimension. And Rick and Morty pay him some schmeckles to take them down the huge stairway. And yeah, it doesn't do anything as such, it's just a statue, but it's a very nifty looking one at that. And overall great sort of proportions to each character, and a very crazy looking derpy face on that character in particular. But yeah, that Slippery Stare, very nice looking vinyl figure. And here we have 3 Dunnies from Kid Robot's new 5-inch Dunny collection, which if you're unaware as to what a Dunny art toy is, it's basically been around since the early 2000s, I want to say, and there's been just so many different variations of this one sculpt. And as you can see, got a nice variation with the arm on this particular version. Cool jetpack, and yeah, just a nifty looking character by Dolly Oblong. So that is the sort of robot style Dunny. This one's by 12 Dot. It's supposed to be like a little tiny pond creature disguising itself as a frog. And the ears have turned into eyes for the frog. This kind of peels off. I'm probably not going to attempt to pull it off, but you get the idea. And little frog arms in the Dunny hands. Wings on the back, so that's quite a cute version of the Dunny. And this one by Jason Freeney. A lot of people really don't like Jason Freeney's work. He does often create different variations of sort of DC characters in particular, where he will just have a skeletal version of the character down one side, and this is the Dunny version, which is overall very weird and very bizarre. I do really love the sort of colours used for the internal organs, and I really love the sculpt on the teeth as well. I'll get a closer look at that. There you go, and little fingers as well. So very odd proportions for this one, but obviously appropriate for what the character is. So that is the Jason Freeney Dunny. And finally, to wrap up this haul video, we have what I would call my main gift, I suppose, for this year. This is an art statue that I've wanted in my art figure collection for a very, very long time. This art figure came out back in 2012. It's called the Huck G Skull Slinger. And this is the Tuco variation. The Blondie edition, which I already own, is pictured on the front there on the wanted poster artwork. But the version inside is very different, and something that has eluded me. It's limited to 300 pieces in the world, and best of all, it's a signed piece. The signature is fading from the box, but on the figure it is intact, and I will unbox this guy now and show you what he looks like. And here is the Huck G Skullslinger Tuco edition out of the box. One absolutely incredible looking art statue. So obviously I'm not going to be able to fit this entire thing in one shot. It is 11 inches tall, but I will try my best to show it off as best as I can. So the hat is removable, which I will take that off for the remainder of the video. And there is the beautiful skull emblem, which Huck G is very famous for. Love the eye design and the little Japanese symbol on the forehead. And there's the elegant sort of button design going down there, little sheriff star. And all the green elements on this guy do glow, which is a really nice added touch. So we've got the pistols and his little holsters there. There's the boots, little rivets going up the trouser leg. And there's the wings, and of course the sort of main attraction, I guess you could call it. The signature from the man himself, Huck G. So that is the Tuco edition of the Huck G Skullslinger, basically my main gift this year. Definitely worth every penny. I never thought I would ever get my hands on this guy, and he certainly does mean a lot to me. Unfortunately, he will be going back in the box just for now, because I don't have an appropriate place to display him as of yet. But I'm still working on getting that sorted out, and he will be displayed with the Blondie edition, and I'll throw a photo of that one on screen now so you can see the differences between the two. And that will do for my haul of random items for this year. So thanks for watching my Christmas haul video for 2018. I really hope you enjoyed. By all means, you can drop a comment down below and let me know what you got for Christmas this year. And of course, Happy New Year to all my fellow viewers and subscribers. I never thought I would actually reach 2,000 subscribers this year. I don't really pay attention to numbers as such for the channel, but that was definitely a huge surprise, so much appreciate that, of course. And for any requests for videos, by all means put them in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the new year, so thanks for watching.